everybody, it's Kathy Champion and welcome back to Random Acts of Crafting. This is going to be part 2 of our Christmas album, and I want to kind of show you what I have done since we last visited. I got these little, these are the little bags that comes with the Edith club kit, and I had one that was empty, just happened to be red, which is perfect for our Christmas album. So I'm just going to dump everything out on my desk, and I am going to keep this because that way I can put this all back in it. And if you have something similar to that, that would work great for pulling your products out, putting everything back in when you're done so that you can kind of tuck it to the side and then pull it back out when you're ready to work on it. And for me, that helps me keep myself organized. It helps me to know exactly where I need to keep all the items needed for this project. Now, I don't keep things like my ruler, you know, my stylus and bone folder and things like that, but my paper pieces, my chipboard, things like that. So what I did while we were away, or in the off time, is I went ahead and covered, let me get to where I was at, and I also cut out some elements, but I went ahead and got the rest of my chipboard. As you can see, I've covered everything, and I even punched holes in some of it, and I'm going to show you how I did that because I didn't do them all. Here's our little piece that's going to be our little hinge door, and we're going to put some other stuff in here to enhance that. But these are the pieces I'd already cut my holes in, and these, as you can see, I have not. I did pull out my Christmas washi tape, and I have some that says Merry Christmas, no peeking. I have some gold and red, some plaid, and then I have this beautiful gold. So those were my 5 little spools of washi tape that I had. I also pulled out from another pack of paper. This was an 8x8, and let's see if I have that pack laying here. I do. And I want to show you what the name of that pack was. I don't know that this is still available because of the fact this was probably last year, maybe even the year before. But this was called the Gift of Christmas. It is a beautiful Christmas pack. Look at these beautiful gold foils. I don't think I used maybe a small piece of it last year. I did pull one of these pages out. But this is just beautiful paper. It's textured. These first few pieces are not double-sided. They are, but they're embossed. They're glittered. They're just beautiful. So I'm going to just thumb through these. I did pull this piece out, and when you get down in here further, you're going to run into the double-sided, which is starting right here. And these are double-sided, as you can see, and they are just lovely. And I did pull this piece out. Look at the back of that. Is that not gorgeous? I love this paper pack. And there's one like was in the front, but it doesn't have that raised up embossed feeling, and it's just a little bit different color. These are just beautiful. I'm just going to flip that over every 3. Look at this. Oh, look at those green snowflakes. You never think of green, you know, for snowflakes, but that's actually very stunning. This is a beautiful green, sort of a distressed look. And then you got this on the back, and I love the Santa Claus with the old look. And that's the end of our paper pack. Now this is what I pulled out. I did pull out the Santa Claus one with the bells on the back. I really love the Santa Claus. The musical notes with the names of our Christmas hymns on it. And then of course this piece that has the angels on the other side. Now we still have our greens. I have some solid red. I need to find my red. It's right here. There's my red pack. And then we have these pieces left over. These were some of our pieces that was left over from our other pack. And I did pull out let's see. Oh, I pulled out these packs. This is just a piece where I cut something out of. Here's the old Santa Claus with the bells. There's a piece of this, the poinsettias, and again, that piece with the musical notes on it. So let's go ahead and get this paper over here and out of our way. And I'm going to show you some embellishments. I knew that it would make the video way too long if I do every aspect of my album on camera. So I also realized that you probably won't have the very same dies that I have unless you go and purchase them. And I know some of my stuff I've had for quite some time, so you may not be able to get the exact thing that I have. But I'm also using this, this is the Christmas gingham, and it's the Dots and Stripes gingham. And this is just beautiful paper. It's got a lot of the reds and greens in there and the blues. So I thought that would be a good paper to use. I also wrote here, for our holes, we're going to measure in a half an inch. So it's in a half an inch, up 1.5, and down 1.5. And that's where we want to put our holes. So again, we're going to measure in from the side because our rings are going to go to the left side, and so our album will flip like this. Come in a half an inch from this side in, and come down 1.5 inches and up 1.5 inches, and this will give you exactly where you need to put your holes at. As you can see, I did punch some of my holes, but I'm using this piece as my guide. So what I am going to do is decide which way I want this to go. And like I said, be sure before you punch your holes, make sure you know where you want them to be. So what I'm doing is I am going to use a Sharpie marker, and this is the one with the fine point, as you can see, and I'm going to go in, and I think I'm going to go in on this side because this paper is lighter, and all I'm doing is lining this up perfectly. Lay it down and draw your circles, and I'm just going around several times so that that will make it dark enough that I can see it. And then I'm going to do that for each one of these, and this one it's not going to matter. So I am going to do it on the lighter piece so I can see them. And I'm just going to go around and around, kind of fill that in, like so. And let's try this one. Now this one does matter because it is, this page is oriented to lay like this. You know, we wouldn't want to put our holes in over here and the piece is going that way. So again, I cannot stress how important it is to make sure that you get your paper in the orientation that it needs to be. And I also wanted to show you, I pulled an album that I made a while back. And let me pull that up here real quick because I wanted to show you, well, I had it right here just a moment ago. Well, I wanted to show you the album. I made a summer album and a fall album, and I have to admit that I have not put any pictures in them as of yet. So let me locate those two. Oh, here we go. I knew I laid them over to the side somewhere. This is one that I did, and this was the summer one, and I just made it as cute as I possibly could. I did some tags like this. I did the little open tags here where you could actually put pictures in here, or you could put a piece of white cardstock so you could journal on it, and this is just a regular tag. And I have tags stuck in just everywhere that I could possibly make. I made a pocket here. This is another little booklet, like so. And I embellished it by using little pearls and buttons and rhinestones. And here I have 1, 2, 3 tags. that sticks out here, like so. And again, all of this can be, and the reason I wanted to show you this, I just kind of wanted to give you some inspiration for what we're doing. And these tags are just wonderful places for pictures, and you can stuff in as many tags as you can fit for pictures and what have you. This was done after I saw the very first Brenda album. No, it wasn't the first one, because I did make one like Brenda's with the cardboard. This one I used chipboard on, and I did like it much better with the chipboard. But again, these were just little bits and pieces of scrap paper. Some of the paper from the I think this was well, I can't remember the name of this pack, but it was one of the summer ones from a couple of years ago. And again, like I said, we just got bukus of tags sticking in, all this ribbon sticking out. This is another little booklet that you could put a picture in or journal in. All the way through this, you're going to find just little tidbits sticking every which way. Now, I don't know that the album we're going to do is going to turn out quite like this one. Now, this one right here, I kind of folded the paper up and then back. I glued on some pearls and a little flower, and like I said, I just wanted to kind of show this one to you so that you could get an idea of what we're doing. But I thought this was just adorable. Some of my pages wasn't as functional as I would have liked them to be. I think this was probably one of my first albums. I did put this Mr. Sunshine in here. I popped him up on some dots so his face would kind of pop a little bit, as you can see. And then, of course, I did the waterfall. We are going to do a waterfall in ours. And then you've got room for pictures and things like that there. Again, I did this little envelope and I tucked it under the beach ball with more tags sticking out there. Plenty of places back here for pictures. These are our 4x6 cutouts, which were great for putting pictures on the back sides. And that was this here, a couple of tags, and I stuck that back under there. And this was our album, and as you can see, it is it's fun, it's frilly, it's got lots of little elements sticking out all around, and just a really cute little piece. And I really love the way this came together. Later on, I did a bound album, and this was my fall album, and I did this one last year at fall, and I am so ashamed that I still have not put pictures in it. But this was actually bound, and the one we're doing today, I don't want to overwhelm y'all with a binding system, and this is a much more intense album to make. So I actually built a front door to make it look like we were entering the house. And again, I have a magnet holding down the waterfall, and here's our waterfall with all of our pretty papers and places to put pictures. And that, like I said, that's a magnet closure. Then I got these pockets here. I did not put anything in these yet as far as ribbons on my tags. We have this piece right here. This flips out like so. These come out, and this was all on a fall theme. And let's see, and also I have inserts inside these little folders. Let's see if this one will come out. I'm pretty sure that I made that one to come out. Maybe it got glue on it. Well, let's see. Maybe it comes out. I know that one was made to come out. Okay, there we go. I was trying to pull that off. And I got these where they fit in. So ever so often you'll see one of these sticking out, like, you know, and they come out. But I did a lot of dimension on this one with things like this, you know, just a little teeny place down here to stick these tags and these cutouts where you can put pictures on them. I was going to go back and I was going to put some ribbon and some baker's twine and things like that. But there's another little pocket with tags, and another one here with lots of tags, and then here also tags, and then this one opens up like this. It's like a gatefold, and we've got tags in there. And then this one opens this way, and there's places here to put pictures. You can, stick that comes up like that. It closes with a magnet, so you can put stuff behind there. We've got another little pocket here with this stuck behind it. So there's lots and lots of room in an album like this. This one I actually made an envelope where you could stick something in there, and it said "Hello Fall" and "Thankful." So just lots of ideas of how you can decorate an album. I love the Harvest Market, the little pickup, and all of these little cutouts that I put in here that were just, I thought, was so adorable. So you can leave a comment below and let me know what you think of my fall album, and maybe later down the road, after I get some crafters that are a little more seasoned in their crafting, I may do one of these. And because I love the way it turned out, I thought it was beautiful. Again, we have these pullouts that just work so nice for having little hideaway places to put pictures. There was one supposed to be in there, and I don't know what happened to it. But I've had this album now, like I said, since last fall. I would say probably November, I think I did this. There's another little pocket right here to slip stuff in, and then this folds out like that, and then it also folds this way, and then this opens up like so, and then you've got another little place here where you can put a picture. So many elements on this album that I loved it. I enjoyed doing this, and I have to thank Miss Edith Ray, because I did this tutorial from hers, and I've had people to ask me about my front picture on here. And see, this is another little element that I just slipped in. I used some of the little chipboard elements, and this one here too comes up, and then it's a gatefold that opens up. So, and then it's back to the back of the album. Now, I had some people to ask me about my front door. I built this door. I took a piece of wood grain paper and I stuck it down onto a black piece of cardstock, and then I cut these little elements out that made it look like they were the door. I hung a wreath on it, and I set some pumpkins to the side. I put the little banner that said autumn, and I actually put a little brad in right there to look like the doorknob. So that was a lot of fun to put together. So again, like I said, we can address doing an album like this at some point if you like. This is a very sturdy, well put together book, and I made the entire cover. It's all made out of chipboard. This back piece was made out of chipboard. It was all covered. I made my binding system that all of these pages set in, and then the fold outs and everything went from there. So again, just a real neat little album along with my summer album, and I just thought I would show y'all those so that you could kind of get a feel of where we're going with our album today. Okay, now back to business at hand. I am going to look at my orientation on my paper, and we're going to go ahead and finish getting our holes. Okay, we got there and there and there. So I got those done. So now let's look at this, and we are going to do our holes right here. And again, I cannot stress to you how important it is to make sure that you pay attention to the orientation. Here, if I turn this around and did it here, our little balls would be hanging sideways. So I want to make sure that I lay that there. And again, I cannot stress how important it is to pay attention. And I also want you to know that you do not have to use the same paper that I'm using. Feel free to look in your stash, pull out your old paper. We all buy more paper than we need. I know I do. and I'm sure that y'all do. And so, you know, just feel free to look at your paper, see what you need, see what you've got, and then pull out, you know, and mix it. It does not have to be the same. Mix your papers up, and you'll be surprised how beautiful it will come out. I do want to show you before I punch the holes, and I am going to use my Crocodile, and I'm going to use the larger hole punch on it to punch these holes out. But before we get to that, I want to show you what I did. I have these elements that I cut out using die cuts. Now, you might not have these same die cuts. Use what you have. You might just have ovals, you might have some scallops, whatever you have. But I wanted to put this probably like here, and I want to, or this way, I'm not sure which, but I wanted to put Merry Christmas on there, and I wanted to do the numbers 2019. That's my idea with that one. But I wanted to show you, I did some other elements. I made a wreath, and this was a die that I had, and it's a Darice die. It comes with the bow. The little holly berries, I actually used a 1/4 inch punch and punched those out. I also did some Christmas ornaments, and I do want to show you each of these because I think they turned out gorgeous. And what I did is I cut them first out with the red and the green, and then I took and ran them through my Xyron to get the sticky on the back. And if you don't know what the Xyron is, it is just a little machine that allows you to put stickiness onto the back of your pieces. You have a little door right here that opens. It has a cartridge that has cellophane and adhesive on it. So you just run it through using the little handle, you crank it in, and it puts a sticky backing on. And the next time I do one, I will show you how this works. I ran up on a deal at Hobby Lobby this past Saturday. I went in there because I heard they were having a great markdown. This little machine at Hobby Lobby, this is the Creative Station Lite, but in Hobby Lobby, and we all know Hobby Lobby's regular prices are usually pretty high, but it was retailed in there for $49.99. Now, would I ever pay $49.99 for something like this? Probably not. But this was on clearance. It was the last one they had, but it was on clearance for $12.74. I grabbed it, and I was so afraid. I was afraid to set it back down because I was afraid somebody else would snatch it up. And I got that. My wonderful husband was so sweet to me and getting me out of the house and taking me craft shopping. They also had the refill cartridges. That's regular $21.99, and I got that for $5.49. I mean, really, it was amazing, and I came out of there on cloud 9 because I was so happy. But it's given me the opportunity to use it by doing these little ornaments and having these intricate dies. I took and ran it through one of the Xyron. I peeled them off. I stuck them down on some gold paper, and then I fussy cut the outside edges, which it's very easy to fussy cut those. And look how gorgeous they are. So I did 2 red ones and a green one, and I think they turned out beautiful. I also have a die for this beautiful poinsettia, and I cut one of those and I popped it up on dimensions. I used the gingham green sheet to make my leaves because I wanted them to look a little bit variegated like a real poinsettia. And then I have this die right here. Was one of those when I first started crafting. I did not understand the China thing and how they steal, but this was a die, my confession here in front of everybody. This was a die that I ordered off of Amazon, not knowing that it was coming from China. And of course I got it like 2 months after I ordered it. But look at that. Is that not gorgeous? So I cut these out this morning so that I would have a little bit of embellishments. And the reason I didn't want you to sit and watch me do all that was because these dies are, we all have different dies. So it's no need for you to see me cut out my Christmas dies because your stash may be totally different than mine. So I just used what I had and I cut those few pieces out. I did do a heat embossing with Merry Christmas on it, and it's on the Wagon cardstock by Brutus Monroe, and I used the embossing powder that Donna had sent me, and I didn't realize that it was going to dry in that clear look, and all it did is made it a little darker than the paper, which I thought was gorgeous. So I can't wait to try that on something else. But anyway, let's get back and let's use our little crocodile and see if we can punch our holes. Now I've got this set, as you can see. I have it set so I can sit that right in there, right over top of that mark that I made, and punch my hole. Now, I will tell you, you have to mash this quite a few times to get that little chunk to come out. And if you don't get that chunk out, you can't see where your holes are at. Oops, I almost did that one twice. And sometimes I can't get them to come out, and I will have to use my pokey tool or something like this to just go in there and flick it out. And you can see they're just little pieces of the cardstock and the chipboard. So what I'm going to do as I cut these, I am going to lay them over here in the orientation that I'm cutting them. And after I get these all punched, I will then clean up my mess and then we'll move on. So we're going to pause right now and I'll be right back. Alright, we have all of these holes punched, and let's see, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pages, and I do have a couple more pieces cut over here in case we need them. And I know we're going to do some little side pieces, and I'm actually even going to do, and I might do it on this one, I am going to round the corners of this and make this like a half circle page. And I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to put down on here to give me that curvature, and then I'm going to actually cut it using my either my scissors or my X-Acto knife. I haven't decided, but let's see if this will give us what we need. Now, like I said, use what you got. I am literally just laying down my roll of Scotch two-sided tape, and I don't know if y'all know how big this roll of tape is when you first get it. It's humongous, but this is what I have left, and I don't know. I'm going to use a pencil and draw this to see if this is what I want, and if I don't, I can just erase it and move on to something else. I think that might do exactly what I'm... Actually, I want it a little bit more rounder. So let's go here. Yep. And again, you know, like I always say, use what you've got and make it work. So I get so many times where people say, I can't do this or I can't do that. I don't have the tools you have. If you got something you can lay down to make a circle, a roll of toilet paper, a roll of paper towels. I mean, I keep a roll of paper towels in here. You know, you could sit a roll of paper towels right here. I actually think that's going to work better than that did. So we're going to come back in and we're going to use the roll of paper towels to go around this like that. Yes, that's exactly what I want. So, you know, trial and error. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And I'm going to actually get my little nips. I don't use these little snips as often as I should, but these are my little Tim Holtz snips. And I'm going to come out probably about this corner. And I'm going to work my way around, following that line. And I'm going to stay on that inside line, if you notice. And I just wanted something a little different in here, and I thought this rounded page would be so cute. And let's see if we can make that work. There we go. Now, it's not perfect, but you know what? Neither are we. And it's okay if it's not completely perfect. That's going to work for what I wanted, and when we get paper on it, we are not going to know that it is not working. Now, I'll tell you what I am going to do. I want some gold on this, so I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas, and I'm going to use this stamp right here, and this is from the Holly and Heels, and it's Merry Christmas. And you can see I have used this stamp quite a bit because I think the font on this one is gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I am going to go over into one of my little boxes, and I made this box on one of my videos. I keep my embossing, let me pull it over here so that you can see it a little bit better. But this was a box that I made, and the instructions for this box is actually on my one of my tutorials. But in this box I keep my embossing powders and embossing tools. So there's my little powder tool. I keep some filters because I use those to pour it back in. And I just want to get a gold. And I believe this is my Nuvo, and I love the Nuvo products, and this is classic gold. Let's see what else I have that's gold. This one is a sparkle gold, which I might even like better. This one is called glitter gold. This is not the fine detail. This is the more chunkier one. But I think I'm going to try that one. I want it to sparkle, and I wanted it to have a little bit of fanfare, so to speak. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get out my little powder tool, because I have not done a class or a tutorial on heat embossing, but this is going to be a little crash course right here. You always need a little powder tool if you're going to do your embossing, and this is like an anti-static powder. Basically, it can be cornstarch inside of a knee-high. You can make your own by doing it that way. But what it does, it takes up the oil off of our paper that we may have gotten on with our hands. You do need to use a VersaMark. This is a clear ink. Some people think it's glue, but it's actually an ink, a special ink that is made for heat embossing. So we're going to ink this up really, really good. And I am going to put it down right in the middle of this. And we'll blow a little bit of that embossing powder off of it. And I want to center this right in the middle of this little die cut. Like so. And I'm going to just press that down with my fingers. Get a really good stamped image on there. And then we're going to heat emboss that Merry Christmas. And you can see that Merry Christmas did take rather well. So I am going to cover up my ink, and I'm going to get my heat. Now for heat embossing, you need a heat tool. This one is put out by Darice, and I can't remember where I got this from. But you can buy heat tools most any craft store, and I'll show you how wonderful this works. I am going to get my tweezers because this tool gets very hot, and I want something to hold this. Now I'm going to turn this on for just a few minutes and let it heat up. So I am sorry about the noise, but I want this to get heated fairly good. I am going to, while it's heating, I'm going to wipe this embossing, or not embossing powder, but the you know what? I did not do the embossing powder. I got ahead of myself, y'all. So let's regroup. I hung that down there. We got to put the embossing powder on it because we do not have anything on here but the ink. It will not emboss without embossing powder. Oh, again, like I said, you know, sometimes when you're under the pressure of the video and you're trying to teach and you're trying to think ahead of what you need to do, sometimes you do get a little ahead of yourself, so I apologize for that. So what I'm going to do in this coffee filter, I am going to generously sprinkle this gold embossing powder over top of my piece. And I am going to shake this off. Look at that. Is that not beautiful? I'm going to look at it and make sure that it looks pretty good. I'm going to tap it again on the bottom, and I think that's a really good emboss. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this coffee filter, and I find it easier to do this with coffee filters, and these are the small ones. Actually, oop, I made a boo-boo. I accidentally picked up the wrong coffee filters one day at the grocery store, and my husband said, "Hey, these coffee filters aren't working." And sure enough, you know why? They were the wrong size. So I told him, I said, "I'm not taking those back. I can use those in my craft room." And I did. I'm not even going to try to get that up. It's just too fine. So I'm going to use my little vacuum, and I'm going to vacuum that up. So there we go. We got that taken care of in just a heartbeat. I love that little vacuum. One of May's subscribers sent her one, and May announced on her channel that the girl said she got it from Amazon. So of course I went to Amazon and I found myself one, and I had to have it. They've got them in all different types of animals, all different kinds of shapes. I saw one that was a mushroom that was adorable, but I love the ladybug, and it was cheaper. So now that I got this heated, you can see it's nice and red. I am going to hold it to my embossing. I'm going to go back behind it so it doesn't warp. And all you want to do is watch that melt. Y'all see that melting? When the embossing powder melts, it turns into this beautiful, beautiful gold. And that is done. Is that not gorgeous? I love it. I love to heat emboss. It's so much fun to watch that embossing powder just change color like that. Let's see if I can get this to... I always try to make sure that I put my heat tool back into a place where it's against metal and not something plastic, because it is still warm. Now, is that not beautiful? I love it. Look how it catches the light. So we are going to put this right here on the front of our album, and I think I'm going to bring it up to about here. And because this is going to be on the front, I want to stamp it, I want to glue it down directly to the album. So I am going to use some art glitter glue. And I am going to making sure I get it really good around these little edges. And then some all through here. And we are going to put this down as close to the edge as we can, like so. And then I am going to look for a stamp that I can put 2019 on. And if I remember correctly, May has a stamp that is called How Many? And it is actually like a birthday stamp. Let's see, How Many? I am pretty sure that's the name of it. Yep, there it is. And we have numbers. Now these are kind of distressed a little bit, but we are going to put 20. And this is what I'm talking about using what you have. You know, if you do not have a stamp set that has numbers on it, you could print out on your computer something that says 2019 in a good size font and cut them out and put them on here. You could die cut a little oval and you know, put a die cut over top of your cardstock that you had used. But I just wanted the Merry Christmas 2019 to be on my album. And I think I want these to go down in this way. Now, how cute is that? Now, I wonder if we can pick those up like that. Yes, I'm loving that. Oh, I'm going to love this. I am going to love how this is going to look. And we're going to stamp them just like that. So I am going to go over these just a little bit with my fingers, putting down a little bit of my own oil. Let me get my pen back in my art glitter glue while we are fumbling around here for what we need. And I think I'm going to stamp that in black. We've got the black over in here, and I think that's going to look really good. So I'm going to get my VersaFine. That's usually my better ink. And I am going to ink these up. And I think I am going to use this piece of cardstock to just kind of stamp that off first. And I know I am out of camera, and I do apologize. Let me see if I can bring this in a little bit. There we go. I just wanted to see if I'm good. Yeah, that's a really good impression right there. So I think we're good. I think we're safe to go ahead and see if we can stamp it on here. So I am going to re-ink it. And we are going to try not to put our arm in the ink. And I want this to land about like so. I'm just going to press that down because I really want to make sure. Now, I don't plan on covering up this front at all. I want this front just to be a cover page. We will come back and enhance this page with some stickers or little embellishments. But I want this just to be like a title page of our album. And there is our album for Christmas of 2019. And I think that's just such a good idea for getting our album titled, so that we have our title page. And I think every good book, whether it's an album or whatever, it needs a title page. So now I think what I need to do is decide what type of embellishments do we need. Now I have all of my Christmas embellishments, and you can go ahead and call me cheap if you want to, but I get these plastic containers. I actually keep all my ribbon in these because I can see. You can see what they are. This is from Costco, and these are butter croissant containers, and they usually come with, oh gosh, I don't even know, 12 nice big croissants. I love croissants. So usually when we go to Costco, I will pick up a bag of these, or a box of these, and I love them. I absolutely love them. So when they're gone, I usually just save the container, and that is my my ribbon containers, and my in this case my embellishment containers. Look at these. Are they not so super cute? These I think I got at the a dollar store, Mighty Dollar, I think it was. And these were so stinking cute. Just adorable. But you know, we got to be mindful of the front of this album, because this is pretty, what is the right word? It is elegant. So these are some of the little dress it up, and these are almost like little buttons. And I might put an angel on the front of that one, but let's see what else we got. I got the little candy canes. I got some snowflakes. Those are cute. And there's the little mouse in the North Pole. I don't think we need a North Pole on the front of this. Maybe a nutcracker. No, I don't even think a nutcracker would go. I may end up leaving that page just like it is, because it is beautiful. It's very elegant. just like it is. But you see my process of how, oh, these might go good on the front. Now these were $1. They were regular $3.99, and again, this was a Hobby Lobby sale. I know I'm so bad about everything being on a sale, but it's just the way I roll. I hunt for my sales and clearances, and I challenge you to do the same thing, because that's how we can make beautiful crafts and not kill our budget. So my husband is so supportive with me with my crafting, but it's because he knows I do not go out on a whim and just buy stuff. I catch it on sale. So these are some elements. I bought a big pack of these last year, and I divided them up with my daughter. And oh, look at these. Are these not adorable? I love snowmen. Snowmen are my thing. And here's a thing of snowmen. But even these don't call for snowmen on the front of this card. So I'll tell you what, we are going to, there is another poinsettia that I did, and I put beads in front of it, on top of it. We are not going to worry about the front of this one. We are going to just cram all of our little Christmas goodies back in here. And I think we are going to let this front page, we're going to call this front page done. And we're going to turn it over. Now this is where we can have some fun. We are going to put in a pocket, but how cute would it be to have this living on the front of our pocket? So let's see, what kind of pocket can we put here? I am going to grab one of our pages, and sorry about that. That was my phone, but it wasn't anything that I need to take right now. So let's see if we can do a pocket. Now again, this is why I like to put my holes in, because I know that I want my pocket to live between, I don't want my pocket to be over 5 inches, because then I can still, let's do 4.5. So I want a 4.5 inch pocket there. I don't think I want that paper. Let's see if we can do this one. Oh, that matches really pretty. So let's do a 4.5 piece off of here. And I'm going to cut this. I don't think it really matters which way. Let's cut it at 4.5. And let's see how far we want this to live. I think probably right to there. So I'm going to come down about 1/2 inch past this little line. Y'all see that line right there? I'm going to go 1/2 inch. So I'm going to put that right about there. Like so. And the reason I wanted to cut that at the 1/2 inch is, and I need to score that. So let's get that in the trimmer. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to get by with putting gussets on the side of this. In fact, you know what? We're going to gusset the whole pocket, down, across, and down. This is going to give us a really nice sized pocket, and I think this will live on that, bringing out the gold in there, and I think that's going to be beautiful. So, again, I'm bringing you along on my thought process of how I want to do this, along with the other things that we're doing. So I'm going to move my embellishments, and I'm going to look over here in my scrap of paper, and I've got this little piece. These are not going to show, so I'm going to cut 1/2 inch strips off of this, and we need them to be 5 1/4. So we need 2 at 5 1/4. So I am going to do them at 1/2 inch. And another one at 1/2 inch. This one looks bigger. Okay, so I did 3/4 inch on this one. So let's go back in and do 3/4 inch. There we go. And we know that it needs to be 5. Is that what we decided? What's the old rule of thumb? Measure twice and cut once. So that's what I'm trying to do. So that's 5 1/4. So 5 1/4. So we're going to bring those in, and I've got way too much stuff. I'm going to do them one at a time because I don't want to mess this up. 5 1/4 and 5 1/4. And across the bottom it is 4 1/2. So we want another piece that's 4 1/2. So we're going to do this one at 4 1/2. I'm going to just bring out my little scoreboard for this. And this one is, we're going to score these right down the middle. They do not have to be exact. Oops. And these don't have to be pretty. They're just going to be functional pieces. And let's see, this needs to go about here. So like I said, just, you know, kind of eyeball it and do it in half, like so. Just like that. And now we are going to bring that piece back over. And this is going to go on our bottom, so we are going to attach this like so. And I'm just going to glue this directly down to the paper. So I do want to miter this just a little bit. So we're going to come in and cut off just a little bit of an angle. Like that. Trying to stay in camera frame, so I hope that I am. So we need to angle this one like this. I think this would be right. Yes. And the reason you want to do it like that is you're going to have the other piece coming down and you want to angle it as well. So we're going to go ahead and angle this up. And we'll have the other piece on the other side, and it needs to be angled like this. Okay, so we'll get all of our little crumbs and what have you out of our way, and I'm going to put some art glitter glue on the back side of this piece. And then we're just going to glue this right down on this bottom edge. Get it as close to the edge as you possibly can, like that. And then you just want to press that down really good. And I am going to grab my bone folder and I am going to press this into that paper as best I can. And now we're going to do the same thing for these sides. We're going to see how that's going to fit in there nice with that mitered edge like that. So we're going to put some art glitter glue down on this side. And if you noticed, I didn't do anything at the top edge because I want that to fit flush up there against the top. Just like so. And there I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to crease that down really good and also pressing to make sure that I get the glue to adhere really well. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to put the art glitter glue down. And while you're making your album, you might want to think of whether you're taking your kids or your grandkids to see Santa Claus. You might want to make sure that page is done with a cute little Santa. And you might want to do that page with some Santa paper. If you're doing a church function like a cantata, you may want that page to be more with maybe your musical notes of musical page and put your pictures from your cantata. You may sing in the choir. You may be involved in the musical program of your church. So, you know, the musical notes on that page would have a significant meaning. So now what we're going to do, in order to glue this down to our page, we are going to put our art glitter glue on these little tabs that are sticking out, like so. And on this one. You also might have your children that are in a Christmas program or pageant, and you might want to do a page with their school theme or whatever. Now I'm scooting this down to the bottom of the page. And this is going to give you a gusset where you're going to have much more room to get stuff in there. And I'll tell you something that is good to do, and that is grab a punch. Let's see, this is a 1/2 inch. You might want to go in with your punch like about here. I can't see. I should have thought to do this before I put this on. But let's see if we can eyeball it. And what I'm doing is I'm putting the punch in here like that. Nope, not quite enough. And just cut out a little notch like so. That will allow you to get your fingers in there to pull stuff out. Now we're going to take this beautiful reindeer and we are going to glue him onto this page, just like so. I want him to come down and over, but also make a statement. And maybe on this one I might show you how that Xyron works, because I do want to show you how you can make a sticker out of anything. So let me get my pen back in my glue. This would be a good little test to show you the Xyron in action. So I'm going to grab my little Xyron, and this one is the medium size one. There is a bigger one that does a 9-inch. There's a smaller one that does a 3. This one does the 3 and the 5. So all I'm going to do is lay this right here on the door, and I'm going to push it through until it stops. And then I am going to get it down in there, just like so. And then I am going to crank this through. Yep, and it is, let's try it this way. That might give us a little bit better. Okay, something is holding it from going through right there, and I do not, aha, I do see why. So let's bring this down, and the paper was up. So let's see if that makes a difference. That should make all the difference in the world. So now, oh, there we go. And see how it's coming out on the other side? Like so. Now I'm going to turn that around, and it has a little cutting blade right here. And I'm going to hold that down and cut across, and that will bring that off just like this. So let's put our little Xyron up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bone folder and just press on here like so. Just making sure that my stickiness adheres to the back of this little piece. Just like this. And there we go. So we are going to peel this off. So all you're going to do at this point is pull this front piece off like that. And this is your sticky. So we'll put that in our trash. And now what we want to make sure is that we got all of our adhesive to the back of this, and it looks like it did an awesome job, and you're going to see why this is so helpful when you are doing intricate die cuts. So now we're going to bring that page back over, and we are going to stick this down right here. And anywhere in between that it got the sticky did not adhere, is actually between the little pieces. We are just going to rub that like that, and it just kind of rubs it up. So now, there is our beautiful little sticker that from the die cut that we put on here that says Merry Christmas. So now we've got a place in here. I've got some tags cut. This would be, now I haven't finished these, but this would be a great place to stick in some tags. Here's one that's done in the I don't know that I would do that one in here, but some of these more elegant ones like these would look great down in here. And these were done with the Tag Builder stamp set, but we could do those in here and let them stick out with some pretty ribbon. Here's a blue one, here's a red one, and these would be so cute just stuck in there. But for right now, we're not going to put those tags in because we are going to continue building our album. But that's all I'm going to get done for today. We did get all of our holes punched. We got our front piece heat embossed with our stamp of 2019 on it. And we did the other side with this beautiful reindeer in our pocket. So I'm going to stop right there for today, and this video will go up and will be our part 2. I want to thank you so much for tuning in once again. Happy crafting. I want to thank all of my new subscribers. I also want to say, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go down and hit the subscribe button below. Do a thumbs up, which is a like, and share this video. Then head over to my video that says Let's Talk, and you will not want to miss that video, because there will be a giveaway. Once we receive or reach 500 subscribers on this channel, there will be a terrific giveaway, and you do not want to miss out on that. If you head over there, you'll see exactly what's in the giveaway and what you need to do in order to qualify to be in that giveaway. So God bless you all. Thank you so much again for subscribing, for watching, for liking, for sharing, all of the above. Thank you so much. God bless, and be a blessing to someone today. You'll never know how much it means in their life. Until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.